Our Laurel Burch cat face will start with a giant letter W over almost at the corner of your paper, but all the way to the edge. We are going to draw the biggest letter W you've probably ever drawn. The bottom of the W is round. It'll come up just a little way, and definitely not all the way up to our top of our paper. The bottom of the W creates the cheeks on the cat. And we'll go almost to the top of the paper. Right where we started, this is the ear. We'll add a triangular shape. You could create a rounded ear if you would prefer. Do the same thing on the other side. And connect the lines in the middle. At the bottom of our paper, this part becomes the mouth. We'll add a curved line there. We'll add a triangle or a rounded triangle in each ear. To create the nose, it's it's a letter V. You can make that as wide as you would like. And then from the top of the V, draw a straight line up, but stop before you get to the top of the head. Do this on both sides. One way is to just draw a curved line up. A second line for an eyebrow. And Laurel Burch does human eyes on her cat. Whoa, that's a huge eye. That's wonderful. Parentheses. Curve in around the pupil. So when we do these two lines around the iris is the colored part of the eye. We don't want those curves to go this way. We want them like they're hugging around a ball shape. And the pupil is in the middle. You can even add a little reflection in the eye to remind us to leave that part white. That's where the light is reflecting off the eye. For the other eyebrow and eye, you can choose to match what you drew on the other side, or if you'd like, you can change up how that curves for a different effect. When you're squirting paint onto your paper plate, we just need a little puddle. If you take your hand and make the OK sign, that's about as much paint as we need. Choose a few areas to paint with your solid color. Make sure that they're not touching. So if I'm painting the inner part of my ear, I don't want to do the forehead the same color because they would be touching. Try to plan out the best that you can. When you're painting next to one of your pencil lines, go nice and slow and have lots of control when you're painting near those pencil lines. Give the shape an outline first. Then you can go a little faster in the middle, but still maintain control. To make a tint, which is your color, plus white to make it lighter, squirt some white onto your paper plate, not in your original puddle, but next to. Take your paintbrush, take a little scoop of your solid color, and mix it completely into your white. Really mix well. Having two separate puddles of paint gives you a lot more control on how much color you are adding to your puddle of white. Once you've got it mixed, go ahead and start painting one of the other areas on your cat face. After you've finished painting a section and you notice that you're running low on your color, or if you want to create a different value, which is a different lightness or darkness of a color, repeat the same process. Pour some more white onto your plate in the same puddle where it was before. I'm choosing to make a little bit darker blue, but still a tint. Still going to be lighter, just not quite as light. So I'm adding more of my regular blue into my white puddle. So my light blue is still a light blue, but it's just a little bit darker than what I've previously painted. Also notice that I'm not filling the whole paper plate with paint. We want to keep our puddles of paint kind of small because our goal is to paint our paper, not the paper plate. So try to do your mixing in a small area and not all over the place. Let's make a shade by adding the color black. Take the black squeeze bottle and just do a little puddle on your paper plate. It doesn't take much black to change any color darker. Take your paintbrush, no need to wash. This time we're going to add a little black to our puddle. If you add it to the lighter color to the tint, you make a tone. Black and white makes gray, and if we add gray to a color, it's a tone. If I just used the black and scooped it into my regular puddle of blue, it makes a shade. Try using both and notice the changes in your colors. What's different? Finish painting your Laurel Burch cat face, and if you notice that two of the same color are touching, try to add a little more white or a little more black so there's a slight change in the value, the lightness or darkness of the color. Remember to go slowly next to your pencil lines, and you can paint a little bit faster towards the middle of the shape. Remember, this video is way sped up. No way are we painting this quickly. Let's create a bold black outline around all the features of our cat. One way to do that is to use India ink. When we use India ink, it's in a paint dauber bottle, so if we tip it upside down, it doesn't spill. There's a felt piece here that prevents it from spilling. And the important part when we use India ink is to hold it straight up and down and do not squeeze the bottle. Simply and gently push down, but don't squeeze. You can keep it moving and it'll create a thick, bold black line. Let's see what it looks like when we squeeze. There's this huge drippy puddle. It's incredibly shiny, which means it's wet. And if I tilt my paper, it's all going to drip and run, and that could ruin your artwork. So make sure you do not squeeze the bottle. Make sure you have a placemat down just in case to catch any drips. All right. And gently and smoothly outline wherever there were pencil marks. You can do around the cat head as well. If your cat head is really small, India ink will not be the best choice for you, because it will cover up too much of your facial features. Artists sometimes limit the number of colors that they use to create a bigger impact on their art. So as we're using oil pastels, choose 3 colors that you would like, plus you get black and white as freebies. Make patterns on your Laurel Burch cat using these 5 colors. Now remember, when using an oil pastel, they work very much like crayons, but really work to fill in those extra spots. We don't want the paint to show underneath. There are so many places for patterns on your Laurel Burch cat face. Remember, patterns are something that repeat. So choose a line, a shape, a design, but please stay away from things like words and smiley faces. We want the whole work of art to look like it belongs together. That's also why we simplified our colors and just chose 3 plus black and white. Oil pastels can get pretty yucky. It's hard to tell what color these are. Since we'll be cutting out our cat face, you can clean it off just by drawing along the border of your paper. If you needed to, you could grab a paper towel and also just draw on the paper towel and it'll clean it off. Really, you just need the tip clean, but it is possible to just rub it on its side to clean off the edge. When you're all finished with your patterns, go ahead and cut out your cat head.